So today, we're going to talk about Canyon de Chelly, spelled like this, but pronounced like that. Anyway, Canyon de Chelly is an area by Chelly, Arizona that's got a lot of historical and archaeological significance, especially to the Navajo, who still live there to this day. It is unique that it's a national monument that has all these overlooks that you can drive to along the rim. No entry fee, but you just drive up, get out of your car, walk to the edge and look. You can see all of these Native American ruins. There's Spider Rock that is a really unique rock formation, and you can check it out that way. But if you want to actually get into the canyon, you have to hire a Navajo guide. So Tina and I have done this years ago. We drove to all the overlooks. We stayed at Spider Rock Campground in Hogan and just had a great time, but we wanted to go back and check out inside the valley itself. Really get up close and personal to those ruins, the petroglyphs, and hear some of the stories from a guide, someone who's lived there and knew all of this information. We went back recently with Beauty Way Jeep Tours. Now I am gonna say right out of the bat, we booked this, we paid for it. No affiliation or reimbursement for the video, but he's just a good guy, and it was a great tour, very informative. Really let you dive deep into the history and experience Canyon de Chelly the way a lot of people don't get to, and you'll never get to if you don't get the tour. Enough said, let's jump into it. Here we go. This is our Jeep tour through Canyon de Chelly.
So I'm Leander Staley. I'm the owner of Beauty Way Jeep Tours. I've been giving guided trips into Canyon de Chelly for over 26 years. My father created the business for us in '89, and just about 15 years ago, he handed the business over to me.
Lee reached out to us and asked if we wanted to do a tour down here. We said absolutely. Here we are. And the history, the stories, everything about the canyon, he grew up here, he knows it all. So Canyon de Chelly, great overlooks at the top, but if you really want to get into it and learn a lot more about it, get a guide, and Lee is fantastic. Can't recommend him enough.
It's chilly.
What are you doing here?
Trying to heat some shit up
Why?
because it's so cold out there.
How cold is it?
32 degrees.
How the weather's been, that area is going to be unsafe to actually hike down.
Okay.
So what we could do is just head into the canyon, turn back to the junction, head into the North Canyon, Canyon del Muerto. A few trails along the way that we could stop. Tourism is really our only industry on the reservation, so it is welcomed here. We used to get a little over 800,000 visitors a year. With COVID, that number has dropped. This is quite a bit of water.
When it gets too easy,
Didn't realize.
time to move on. When the night gets too cold, the fire will keep me warm.
You look over to the right here, you look out in the distance, you see this huge overhang. Tucked into that overhang, you'll find a square box structure.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a storage room or granary. Would have belonged to the people who lived here. It's in a nice cooler spot. During the summertime, the sun does not hit that area. And also, we believe that they could have been protecting it from themselves. Most likely, if your food's right next to you, you consume it all right away. Smart way to conserve. Another interesting structure is off to the left. There's a rectangular structure that sits all by itself. Go all the way up to the top, you see that black streak coming down. That's a water reservoir. When the water collected up on top, it dripped down into that area. It was shaped like a tub, lined with piña nut shells, lathered with animal fat. The water could settle there.
Wow.
Underneath my footsteps, the mountain tells no lies. But this heart in my chest is feeling so alive, I could die.
Read that when you came here, and it's like, wow, that is a powerful.
Underneath an ocean, the stars I am burning out.
That occupied Canyon de Chelly would only stay here in the summer. Winter, they'd move up on top. Up on top, they'd have that sunlight all throughout the day. Whereas down the bottom of the canyon, the sun moves further south, making it very cold down here in the shadows.
Well, I am lost to all who love me. When the seas cover me over, I'll return as rain and begin again. I'll return as rain.
I happen to like this angle because it gives more of a 3D image of the actual structure.
Yeah, it really does.
You start to imagine people were living there. It's better. Most likely they'll come back to these areas. Ponderosa pine is found much further into the canyon. There is the Chusca Mountains. Usually in the winter, it's believed that. So in this area, yeah, there's actually several different echoes. If you're closer to this wall, there's a delay in your echo. If you're in between the walls, you hear your echo bounce about 7 times back and forth. Closer to the wall out in the distance, your echo will fade up, fade down, fade up, disappear. Pretty neat.
All right, let's hear it one more time.
Okay. Woo!
Wow.
Only works for Navajos. In total, there's estimated about 2,400 archaeological sites throughout the canyon.
Wow.
They're still discovering a few of these locations. Not too long ago, one of the main roads was actually going over a pit house. Visitor hiking through to notice a skull cap protruding from the ground, and that's when Park Service realized there is something there. So they moved the road over a few yards. Wow. A lot is still undiscovered.
Yeah, I'll bet.
And that's why it's actually set up in the fashion that you do need a Navajo guide to be down to the bottom of the canyon. There are people that live here. If we open it up to the public, there's most likely be people walking in our backyards.
yeah. So I told him he should make you walk.
See what I got to put up with, man? I think this is fake.
I should have locked the gates. I should have thrown away the key. Then I'll be fine with this. To be the end for you and me.
You might have caught up to where the water's starting to run down.
Now you pour out of me, 'cause I've been under your spell. I flush it out to sea, and up someday I can
Just
repel.
east of here. So the Utes did the raid on the Navajo.
Even if we wait the day, you're causing all the troubles buried in my head. What was I supposed to do? Was barely standing when you fell into my arms again. You fell into my arms. with a silver spoon and crown. You see an open door, and feel free to run me down.
As you wrap around, the trail becomes visible on the north side of the rock. But at this southern point, there's a narrow crevice that you actually have to go through to actually get up on top. Today, above these crevices, or above this narrow canyon, is actually piles of boulders. So that was left there by the time that the Navajos were fleeing from the cavalry. So if they attempted to climb up, they would throw the rocks down and they were safe. So today, those piles of rocks are still up there. Pretty neat.
What was I supposed to do? Was barely standing when you fell into my arms. You fell into my arms. My arms again.
All right. So Beauty Way, the way we came up with the name is that in Navajo culture, it's a way of life. When we end our prayers in Navajo, we say, Huchanahaskleen. We say that 4 times in a row, and it translates out to beauty in front of me, behind me, above me, below me. Basically, beauty around me. So, Beauty Way.
All right, we're done with the tour. We're gonna stop by Spider Rock Overlook real quick. Really cool site. And then we're gonna go to the gift shop and get some food. We'll be done here. So here we go. Navajo tacos! Yes! Oh, and heat.
Long drive back to the hotel room.
All right, we're done here.
Stop listening to you.
Where are we going? Hey, where are we?